The stories we are tracking ahead of tomorrow's opening, and of course we are going to start with Bitcoin because there is always something to talk about with Bitcoin. Jules, why don't you walk us through this thing?
Well, Bitcoin, everybody's been talking about it, but sometimes it goes a little too far in order to mine it. A software company behind anti-cheating software for the game Counter-Strike, it was fined $1 million after secretly adding code that would mine for Bitcoin without gamers' knowledge. This is according to Wired. Apparently, the software mined the virtual currency when people were not active on their computers, and the activity was discovered by a gamer who realized his computer was working much harder than usual.
How would you even figure that out?
I don't know.
I would have no idea.
I'm not geeky enough to know.
You can't? I would have no idea.
Yeah, so, and it's a lot of people. About 14,000 customers were infected by the code, which mined about 30 bitcoins over a period of 2 weeks. The company blamed a rogue engineer for the malicious code, and given, by the way, what Bitcoin's been doing lately, it doesn't sound like they mined a lot of bitcoins, but it's been, what, around $600?
I think it hit $900 on the Mt. Gox index at one point this week. That's incredible.
For a blink of an eye, yes.
But it's been incredibly volatile.
It's incredibly volatile, but still up 50-fold some odd this year. Incredible run. Do you guys know how they actually mine these bitcoins? Do you understand what's behind this?
It's a whole algorithm.
Walk the viewers through it. It's peculiar.
You need as much computer power as possible. So basically, there's this high-tech arms race going on with people trying to mine bitcoins. And basically, you pool as many computers as you can together, or you get the fastest chips you can get your hand on so that you can mine these coins.
In other words, you're almost creating a mini supercomputer, right? Because
exactly.
You need to constantly run these thousands and thousands of iterations in order to come up with, what is it, a 32-digit code?
But it would be nice if you told the people that you were using their computers.
No, this is a major violation. You're infecting someone's computer with a virus. The problem is everyone was saying, oh, we don't trust central banks. We trust in technology. It's in Bitcoin we trust. But here you're seeing this technology is fallible. Somebody's already managed to penetrate the algorithms, right?
Right, to talk about risk and safety. And also, talking about technology, well, I'm looking at Microsoft because the best man to be the CEO of the company might very well be the man who founded it. So at the Bloomberg Year Ahead 2014 conference, Charles Schwab said Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates should serve as the company's CEO for at least a year until a replacement is found for Steve Ballmer. Gates was Microsoft's CEO, of course, until Ballmer took over back in 2000. Gates said in a shareholder meeting that he has met with a lot of CEO candidates and is trying to narrow the list. Of course, we know some of the names floated, right, guys? Ford CEO Alan Mulally, former Nokia CEO Stephen Elop. But the question, would that be the shakeup that Microsoft's looking for? I mean, talk about disruptive. That's what they're really looking for to restart their business.
Think about what Bill Gates is doing right now. He and his wife Melinda Gates, they founded the Gates Foundation. Yeah, why would he want to go back and report to a bunch of people like, you, Bonnie, looking for quarterly earnings growth, etc.
Because it's everything
to him.
I mean, listen, he choked up at this shareholders meeting. He actually almost cried. That's what was in all the articles about this meeting day. So obviously it means a lot to him. I kind of think he's also on to bigger and better things. That said, you have seen several major companies, of course, JCPenney, Mike Ullman back there, also in England, A.F. Lafley went back to Procter & Gamble. Sometimes this is the move, but in those situations, it seems to me it was more to sort of right a ship that was on the wrong course. Yes, the stock price is nowhere near where it was in 2000.
No, but Microsoft is not in crisis mode.
Right.
In some of these other situations, you had companies that were really struggling. In the case of Microsoft, it's not doing as well as critics maybe would say, but it's not, it's not a JCPenney. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also the issue is if you get an old guy in there, and I mean a guy like someone who's already been in the leadership seat, how long do they really stay?
Right.
How long do they really stay?
Well, that was the point.
Charles Schwab himself went back for a year to Charles Schwab and turned into 4 years.
Oh, well, now we know why he's backing this move.
Right, so you get kind of sucked back into the company. It's hard to kind of leave because it's not that easy to right a ship that quickly, even if the ship isn't sinking.
Well, especially a ship as complicated and as big as Microsoft. All right, Olivia, what do you have?
Well, I'm talking about the Murdoch. I'm talking about a major News Corp split, and no, not a breakup of the entertainment and news divisions. After 14 years of marriage, Wendy and Rupert Murdoch have officially called it quits, agreeing to a settlement that will complete their divorce. Rupert Murdoch is worth more than $12 billion, and of course, I know what you're thinking. Yes.
Yeah, he's worth half that now.
No, there was a prenup. Come on, this was his third marriage. We don't know all the details of the settlement, but we do know that Wendy will keep the couple's Fifth Avenue apartment. I guess it's the least you can do for a woman who defends you against the pie throwers of the world. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
I was in England. This was incredible.
I mean, she had her own career, too. It's not as though she...
Right.
That's true. She was a junior exec at the Star TV in Hong Kong when she met Murdoch.
And he left her.
He left her. he filed for divorce.
For divorce, right. So it's not like it was a
She's directed films. She has an
thought.
MBA from Yale. She's very qualified on her own. But this is his third divorce. He, incidentally, as we've been reporting around the LA Times, he bought a big mansion in LA recently. The rumors of mill is going that he's actually going to move out to LA and that he may be interested in buying up LA.
Oh, he's got a shop for number 4.
Yeah. Well, he's 82.
I mean, what better place in Hollywood?
Julie, I like the way you think. It's a whole new side of you.
Absolutely.
And he's 82. He's got so much more time ahead of him. All right.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, I'm looking at SeaWorld here because SeaWorld's on parade, but many people are actually not happy about it. So considering the media's been up in arms about the new documentary Blackfish that shows the dark side of the parks, it may not have been the best year for SeaWorld to have its first float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You got animal activist groups, including PETA, are protesting the float's inclusion. The float, called Sea of Surprises, commemorates the 50th anniversary of the parks. And despite the thousands of emails opposing SeaWorld in the festivities, Macy's said the parade is focused on entertainment, is not interested in getting involved in any social commentary. What a cop-out from that. I mean,
Bonnie looks like she wants to chime in on this.
yeah.
I didn't see the documentary. Just watching the trailers was disturbing enough. So I can certainly see why this might generate some controversy, certainly, especially for a family affair like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Well, it's tough for SeaWorld, right? Because on the one hand, you want to improve your image. Macy's is a very visible thing. But on the other hand, should the strategy just be to pull back and sort of lie low while this is all
Until it
going
kind of blows
on?
over.
Well, and especially for a retailer, I mean, to make a statement like we don't want to get involved in the social commentary, okay, does that mean that they will stop commenting on sweatshops in other parts of the world that manufacture their goods when they come to light? I mean, it does strike me as a big cop-out.
Yeah, definitely.
Sea of Surprises. That's a pretty unfortunate name.
Sea of Surprises, yeah, the name of the float,
Yeah, Alec Baldwin called SeaWorld, guys, quote, a cruel prison for whales.
He calls it a what?
A cruel prison for whales. So
goodness.
maybe that would have been a different name.
You could have
for the
said a
float.
lot worse.
I don't know. Cruel, you know, adjectives are always subjective. But, yeah, go see. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's an eye-opener.